I'd like to thank you for your great participation in raising the priority challenges. You have done a lot. Okay, before I go on the next step, okay? The next step is setting the resolutions. But before that, you have mentioned that the priority challenge is indiscipline cases. What do you have under indiscipline cases? Indiscipline cases has many points, but under that.
The team starts by exploring the priority challenge which was selected. They answer questions such as, what is really the problem? Why does it happen? What are the underlying causes? How often is the challenge occurring? Etc.
In indiscipline cases, we face the problem of learners who come late. Okay. For this pair, under indiscipline cases, they have students who always come late. Okay? Yes. Among you have mentioned that your priority challenge is indiscipline cases. Apart from theirs, for you, what do you have under indiscipline cases?
Under indiscipline case, there is some learners which disturb others in the class.
Students who disturb others in their class. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. For this pair, under indiscipline cases as the priority challenge, what is the point you have there, or what do you have under there? Yeah.
For indiscipline cases, there is some learners who make noise in the classroom.
That is a disturbance, as the others have said. What is another point you have under there, under indiscipline cases? What is another point?
There is some learners who fighting each other.
That is also again a disturbance. If we don't have any other, we can go on. Don't you have any other point under indiscipline cases?
The other cases in this case, in my class, there is learners who are sleeping in the lesson.
Learners are sleeping. Some of them are not following the lessons, and so on. Okay? Then you have under. I can go before I can go on the next stop. Okay? Before I can go on the next stop, you understand that under indiscipline cases we have different points. Okay? As you have mentioned it.
Yes.
Under indiscipline cases, you have mentioned latecomers, you have mentioned runners who disturb others in the classroom, and again you have mentioned even those who don't follow the reason by sleeping, and so on. Okay? Then, in the next step, we are going to set the resolutions. Okay? Or we are going to find the solutions that can be used to handle that in discipline cases. Either in your classroom, you have the students who come late, either those who don't follow the reasons, either those who fight with their classmates. What can be the possible solutions? As the next step is about that. Set the possible solutions.
Exploring the problem by answering the questions is important. Only when we have a good understanding of the problem can we identify possible actions for improvement. The COP discusses possible solutions to the identified priority challenge.
Okay, I have told you that in your pairs, you have to think what can be the possible solutions to solve all those points under indiscipline cases. And then in discipline cases, we have found different points. Then, what are the solutions that you have found? In your pair, what are the solutions that you have found so that you can solve all points under indiscipline cases?
In our pair, there is one solution which is set by my colleague, which is stated that to advise learners that shout in the class.
Okay. First of all, when a learner shouts in the classroom, you have to advise him or her. That is your suggestion. Advising the students who disturb others. First of all, it is advice. Okay?
Thank you. In our prayer, we have discussed how to handle those cases of indiscipline in our classroom. Is to allow learners to set their own rules and punishment who broken rules.
Excellent. If you have the classroom, you have to allow them, or you have to advise them to set the ground rules. All of you, do you know the ground rules? Do you know the ground rules, all of you? Help them to understand what are the ground rules. You have said, as a teacher, you have to set the ground rules. Oh no, you have to allow your students to set the ground rules for themselves.
The ground rules is like the rules that people follow in order to follow what teacher wanted in order to increase the level of performance.
Thank you. The ground rules are like instructions. A student has to set the instructions to follow for himself in the classroom, but exactly they must be positive. Positive instructions in the classroom to be followed must be set by the student. That is the point from this teacher or from our mate. Think that or make sure that you have 2 points. This pair has said we have to advise the students who disturb others. After advising them, this one has said we have to allow the students to set the ground rules for themselves. Okay? If I fight with my classmate, I will be punished like this. That is what our mate is saying, or that is our mate is sharing with us. Okay, let's listen from the last pair.
It is just to give them the timetable, to follow the timetable at the time of morning and afternoon, which is written there on their timetable in order to resolve that case of coming late. It is how we resolve that.
Yeah. For the students who come late, you have to show them the timetable. That is a very good point. If the students know the timetable, he will be aware that if I don't obey my timetable, I will be punished. At this time, I can provide excellent to you. Because the points that you have mentioned are very okay. Let me summarize them. Your first pair has said, we have to advise the students who disturb others, or who don't behave well, or who have indiscipline cases. Okay? This pair has said, we have to allow the students in our classroom to set the ground rules for themselves. This pair has said, for the students who come late, we have to show them the timetable. And they make sure that if they don't follow the timetable, they are wrong. Okay, I can allow you to provide or to thank for everyone. And all those points that you have mentioned, you are going to practice them in your classroom or in your school to see if indiscipline cases can be handled. Let all of us go and apply those ideas that you have shared. Then, is everybody ready to apply those points that you have shared? Are all of you ready? Okay, if all of you are ready, or if you are all of you ready, then we are going to set the timeline for ourselves to applicate those strategies. We are going to see how often can we apply our strategy of setting the ground rules in our classroom. After that, when can we apply the strategy of showing them the timetable? The last, when we are going to start advising our learners, we are going to set that timeline. Let's separate that. For you are going to think, how can we, or from when that we can apply the setting the ground rules in our learners. For you are going to share, or you are going to plan. It is a plan, okay? When are you going to start showing our learners out on the table? Then for you, when are you going to start advising our learners? The timeline. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. For you, the first strategy of allowing the students to set the ground rules. When can it start?
For us, we see that after like 1 week, on 12 May, we will finish to set rules and its punishment to our learners.
Okay. From this pair, they are telling us that, or they are sharing us that, not later than 12 May, they would have set the instructions, or they would have helped their students set the instruction in the classrooms and the punishment for those who block those instructions. Then, all of you, do you accept that strategy to be applied not later than 12 May? Do you accept it to be applied not later than that date?
Yes.
Tell me, do you accept it?
Yes.
Okay, it means that all COP participants are going to apply the strategy of helping the learners to set the instructions and the punishment in the classroom not later than 12 May 2021. Okay, the second pair, what are you sharing on?
In our prayers, we set timeline of the shared timetable from 10th May up to 17th May 2021.
Okay, for this pair, they are telling us that not later than 17th May 2021, they will have presented the timetable in their classrooms. That is their plan. Okay?
Yes.
Then for you, all COP participants, do you accept to present the timetable in your classrooms not later than 17th May 2021? Do you accept it to be applied?
Yes.
And make sure that after setting the strategy in the classroom, you have to evaluate. Okay? You have to evaluate if it is providing positive discipline. Okay? Then the last pair. What are the strategy that you're planning to do?
Yeah, it is to advise learners to follow all rules that will be already set in the classroom.
Okay.
So not later than this week.
Okay. Thank you. For this pair, they have said that not later than this week. Okay? Not later than 1 week from today. They would have started the strategy of advising the learners how they have to behave in the classroom or in the whole school, so that the indiscipline cases can be handled. Then, all COP participants, do you accept that strategy to be applied not later than 1 week?
Yes.
Okay. After applying those strategies, I have told you that you have to evaluate. Okay? So that if we meet together in another COP, we can see if today's COP provided the positive answer. So let us go, let all of us go and apply those strategies that we have learned in this today's COP. Okay? And if they are providing the positive answer.